All right, we're 11 minutes after 7 o'clock right now and checking in with Ryan PC Trimble to see what is trending online this morning. If you'll take over so I can respond to Bob Bunner's tweet.
Well, you finally put your crayons away. So
yeah, I had to keep these away from you or just draw all over them.
You guys are funny. Yeah.
I also want to make the mention that you know, they're sitting 2 feet away from each other and they're tweeting each other. They're like kids in high school. It's like, oh, here's the note.
It's a friendly competition. I go over here.
I know, and he won because now he came back on camera and I can do it.
Bob won, Kim 0. Anyway, let's talk about what's trending. You want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So for me, it doesn't take any effort on my part to look as good as I do. I pretty much just roll out of bed and into the studio, and that's honestly how it's been for guys since like forever. Ladies, however, take a little bit more time, and you can see that in this video. It's called 100 Years of Beauty in 1 Minute by Cut Video on YouTube, and it shows just what women have been doing for the past 100 years to get ready for the day, decade by decade. I thought this video was pretty cool because it's really neat for history buffs like myself, but then it also gives a good perspective on what ladies go through every single day.
Oh yeah, we all have people doing our hair and makeup.
Well, no,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, I was gonna, if you would let me talk, Kim. I was going to say, while she has someone doing her hair, imagine having to do this every day by yourself. Now, of course, all these hairstyles are a little bit exaggerated sort of examples, but the one thing I did notice is, and this was my mind sort of thing, I was like, from the 60s onward, the hairstyles look like they kind of get easier. But having a sister, I know that to not be true, because even the, like, quote, easy 2000s hairstyle, which actually looks a lot like the 70s, takes her like 30 minutes just to think about doing.
Do not bring back that 80s hair.
Now, Kim, did you have the 80s hair?
I had different 80s hair. I didn't have that thing going on, but yes, I had big hair at one time.
But I just thought it was interesting, and it's just fun to see sort of what
that is kind of cool.
like.
I just am really envious now that I don't have somebody here doing my hair and makeup.
Well, it's funny. That's like the one question people always ask. Even stupid me, they're like, "Do you guys have like hair and makeup?" And I'm like, no.
My response is always, I mean, look at me.
I know, right?
Do I look like someone's making this up? No. Now, again, female perspective, is it? I found the video fascinating because there was one woman that was able to do all these looks. I mean, I guess it just depends on the length of hair, but.
Well, I mean, I think a
that
hairdresser
she was able to pull that off. I like the 50s hairstyle on her.
The 50s?
Yeah, I do. I like the 50s do on her.
I'm always partial to 20s hairstyles. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
ladies.
crink in the short,
yeah, the bob and the
crink, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, not happening here.
No,
so
you're not
looking at me for, but go ahead.
You're the only lady who can do stuff. Our hair is pretty much this.
Yeah.
This
is what happens. I roll out of bed in the morning. This is what happens.
Yeah. So let's talk about Christmas, guys. You want to talk about Christmas?
Trying to keep yours, aren't you?
There's weird stuff happening. No, come back to me. We don't need to look at that.
Christmas.
We're going to talk about Christmas. It's almost Christmas. It's so close, which means the kids around the country are filling out their wish lists, and Google has provided us with a peek at what may be on them. Here are the top search for toys for November 2014, which may give some insight into what kids will be wanting in a handful of weeks. Now, these are not the toys, these are just random toys, but those toys are as follows. First off, American Girl dolls, which is just sort of a classic. I know my sister had them growing up. Followed by My Little Pony and Paw Patrol, which are both based off of television shows. Then Lego Friends, which is a Lego set for aimed at girls ages 5 and up. And then lastly, the classic harmless Ouija board.
What?
Wait, what? Yeah, this was the 5th most searched for toy on Google in November.
Where's Barbie?
Maybe it has to do with the movie.
Where's Barbie?
I think it might have to do with that movie that came out recently. Barbie actually did make the list. Barbie's Dream House. There were a pair of classics, Barbie Dream House, and then Nerf Gun were 6 and 7.
Oh, I remember one of my Christmas presents was a big Barbie head, and you got to do her hair and makeup.
My sister had that too.
Yeah. See, that's so cool.
Seems frightening to wake up to.
We didn't set it next to your bed.
I just got the head for
It's
Christmas.
like, who made up this doll?
American Girl doll big in our house. My wife was telling us, well, not us, she didn't tell the kids the other day, that I guess a friend of hers was like, oh, I just threw a bunch of those away.
What?
No,
Yeah, I was
throw
like, no,
them
hey, we have
away.
2 7-year-olds that would take
yeah.
everything you have. Any viewer that's listening right now that wants to give them away.
Donate that direction.
wink,
Yeah, it was. She said, "Oh, I was going. You know, my daughters are grown now, and went to the attic, and I didn't realize that American Girl dolls had been around.
Yep.
I thought they were just like
I didn't
my
have
kids'
one,
version
so-
of Cabbage Patch Kids.
I had Cabbage Patch, but I didn't
Yeah,
have.
I didn't realize American Girl dolls had been around as long as they had. But
My sister had them all the way in the mid-90s, so I
Yeah.
guess at least then, yeah.
yeah, I thought they were a very recent thing. So I learned something about that.
Now there were like, I remember there were like 2 series. There was American Girl, and then there was one that was like Key to the Attic or something, and it was just like, well, I remember my mom always bought my sister the American Girls because they were historic, and they had like
Yeah.
story behind them, so like you could learn.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Now, my grandmother used to say that even boys should have dolls. Did you have a doll?
I did.
You
Yes,
did?
I did.
Did you have a doll? Did you have a doll?
Well, I mean, I had like a Stretch
G.I. Joe.
Armstrong.
That's
if
not
that
a
counts.
doll.
But it
Well,
was
like a
fun.
doll. What kind of doll did you
I had
have?
a Barbie.
You did
I had a
have
Cabbage Patch
Ken?
doll, I had a Ken, and I had a Barbie. Yeah.
Oh, see, there
I
you
did.
go. Patrick, did you have a doll?
I had a G.I. Joe. But,
Yeah, my brothers had
yeah.
G.I. Joe.
I had a Barbie, and her.
All right, I guess Stretch
her neck
Armstrong will
broke.
pass then.
It's probably why my hair's falling out now.
Well, let's move on from that.
All right.
Kind of educational. Sort
So,
of.
This is
yeah,
nowhere
this one-
related to what we've been talking
No,
about.
Yeah, this has
morning.
nothing
Across the
to this
world
has
now.
nothing to do with that. This is actually a little bit of a history type of look. The 1986 disaster in Chernobyl is a thing of fascination for many, mostly due to the mystery behind it all. And this is a little piece from the 60 Minutes crew that recently had the chance to film some of the ghostly sites with a drone. And this is the video that they shot, and I think is absolutely a beautiful picture. Are you tweeting right now? I'm trying to do my trending,
I'm
Kim.
listening. I'm
The show's just gotten personal.
It's called it's called Postcards from Pripyat, but it's an absolutely gorgeous thing. So I think it's about 3 minutes long or something like that. But it's definitely worth the watch. It's been floating around on Facebook, on Gawker, and things like that. So it's a pretty cool little thing, and you see like how the city has transformed from like this bustling city, and kind of if you go back and look at history from when it was, people actually lived there. It was a bustling city, and then it still has a very interesting flair to it. I just like the architectural look to things.
I love Soviet architecture. I love nothing about their philosophy. It was the worst. But the architecture was really cool. And the whole like abandoned thing is neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is kind of neat.
And the trees just growing out of places. Like there's one scene that's like that they're like in a pool area.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool as well.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to take a look at your forecast when we come back.